All right, we are live on YouTube, and today we're going to be discussing dating over 40. Are older women more bitter, more difficult to deal with than younger women nowadays? So stick around and find out exactly what I'm talking about. All of that and much, much more is coming right. Whoa! From Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. And also make sure on your smartphone, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android, or anywhere that you have the YouTube app installed on, you must also make sure that the YouTube app is set to receive those notifications at a device level. Do all of that, and you're golden, you're gravy, you're all set to go. You're good to go. GTG, not got to go, because I don't want you leaving here. You're good to go. The new meaning of the acronym GTG is good to go, not got to go. All right? Got it? Good. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. All right. We've got a few people here already rocking and rolling here with us today. This is going to be a very interesting show. Let me make sure that the notification did go out. The notification has gone out, and the stream health is beautiful. We've got 11 people in the box here to start things off. And thank you so much for joining me here today on this beautiful, glorious Saturday afternoon. It's a beautiful day. I went out earlier this morning to run some errands. It was 67 degrees here in beautiful Redwood City, California, where I live, is what I'm trying to say. Climate best by government test, and it's about 70 degrees right now. I couldn't ask for any better weather. And Mutt Nuts World, has the weather tapered off a little bit? Has the heat subsided a little bit for you out there in your neck of the woods, or is it still pretty warm out there? Well, before I get right to this here, let me get to the chat, because this is going to be one of two streams I am doing here today. But let me get to the chat, and I will share more about what's coming up later tonight. Mutt Nuts World says, "Hey, Eli and everyone. Hey, Mutt, how you doing? Hope you had a great day. I hope you're not exhausted or tired. I know you didn't get a lot of sleep last night. You were up early going shopping with a friend, I believe. So hopefully you had a lot of fun and you got what you wanted, and you found what you wanted at a good deal. That's great. Great that you're here." Queen Helen Casey's in the house. Hello, Eli. Smash the like button for Eli. And Queen says, "Hello, Mutt." And Mutt says, "Hey, Queen." All right, fantastic. Mutt says it's 94, but feels like 100 today. Is it very humid over there? Because, when it gets humid, it's even worse. The thing I can't stand more than heat is humidity. When you've got heat and humidity, it's the worst thing. I'd rather have it be like a dry heat of 100 than a humid heat of 100, because, and I'm sure anyone would feel the same way on that, but it's probably pretty humid where you're at, and probably the humidity is affecting you. I know it certainly affects me when there's humid weather out here in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live. Now, let me mention a few things here before I get into this topic. This stream is probably going to be about an hour to an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes max. It's not going to take too terribly long to go through this. I'm going to share some of my personal experiences regarding dating over 40, because I'm 46 years old, and I'm going to be discussing, do I feel, older women are more difficult to deal with than younger women? I'm going to explain all of that. I'm going to be sharing my personal experiences. These are just my opinions. Now, your opinions may be different, so I'm hoping nobody gets offended here. I'm just here to state what I've experienced at a consistent level. And I'm going to explain what I've done and how I've always been myself. And the result, for the most part, has typically been the same. And I know I'm not alone with this, regarding dating over 40 and maybe even dating under 40. But today's topic is catering to dating over 40, because I honestly feel it gets much more difficult to find true love and happiness after your 40s. Now, later on this evening, first and foremost, I may or may not be able to do a members only video today. I had a bunch of things come up in the morning. So for you members out there that are expecting a new members only video, my apologies. There may not be a members only video next until tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday at the latest, because I've got a lot of live streams planned, and I really want to focus more of my energy on these very important live streams. But I promise you, a new members only video will be coming soon. And if you need anything from me at any time, day or night, if you need to talk by phone or whatever you need from me as a member, my phone and my email and Hangouts Messenger, or however you want to reach me, is always available to you. Super Steph is in the house. Hey, Super Steph. I'm sorry. Did I call her Super Steph? I'm sorry, Super Steph. That was a mistake. I apologize. How you doing, Steph? Welcome to the show, Steph. Would you like to join us on a panel tonight discussing 2020? Where I'm going to have Queen Helen Casey come on, along with Muttnuts World, and probably a few other moderators like Collins Trivia, and maybe even Alex the Beer Master, and hopefully we'll be able to reach DC the Purple Diva. But we're going to be discussing tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That show will start exactly on time. It will not be late like this show. My apologies. Some things just came up. But tonight's show will start at exactly 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to have a panel ready on StreamYard to discuss 2020 and what are your thoughts about 2020. I'm going to be asking the people on the panel, what do they feel is going on? How do they feel things could be, done differently or handled differently? And do you feel that 2020 is one of the worst years in not only in our nation's history here in the U.S., but in our world's history? Or what are your thoughts about it? So that's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on my main channel, A Grip on Life. All right. So let's see. Muttnuts World says I am good and got everything I was looking for. That's great to hear. Hot and humid, it's going to be that way the rest of the week. Yeah, the humidity is what's probably getting to you. Just take it easy. If you need to get a wet cloth, put it on your face. I'm sure you know what to do, Mutt. Just take care of yourself. I want you to stay healthy. I want you to stay healthy and live a very long and healthy life. But you already know that. You don't need to hear that from me. Anyway, so Super Steph is here. Welcome. She says hello. Great to have you on board, Steph. Muttnuts World. Hey, Stephanie Sissy. Super Steph. Hey, Mutt. How's it going? Queen Helen Casey is doing the crying emoji. I like that, Queen. Are you ready for tonight's show, Queen? Because Queen, let me tell you something. You are a great person to have on a show like this. You have a lot of very interesting information that most people wouldn't even fathom to research, first of all. But you do a lot of daily research, and it was a great pleasure, by the way, to talk with my moderators. I talked with Collins Trivia, a.k.a. Colin Butters, Alex the Beer Master, Muttnuts World, and also Queen Helen Casey in a private hangout chat yesterday. We talked for, I think, almost 2 hours. And there were so many things we were talking about. And that's what really inspired me to say, hey, it's about time we do another panel show and start doing more panel shows on my channel here. Let's see. Muttnuts World says, just chilling, sissy. Super Steph, I will just watch it tonight. Well, let me ask you a question, Steph. Are you a little bit more on the shyer side to come on panels? Or, I mean, no pressure, no nothing. You're a part of this family, and we care about you very much, and we would love to participate with you as much as possible. But if it's something that you're not used to doing and maybe need a little more time to feel more comfortable, no problem. But I'm sure you have a lot to say. You're very vocal in the chats and behind the scenes in the private chats, but it'd be great to actually, you don't even have to come on camera. You can just come on audio only. It'd be great to chat with you on a live stream at some point. I think that would be awesome. Muttnuts World says, I am AC is on 62. It is cold in the house. this is what a lot of people don't understand about AC. I used to have a roommate that would set the AC to 60, right? And when you set the AC to 60, the AC keeps running until your room or your place gets to 62 degrees. I think a great temperature, a very comfortable temperature, is anywhere between 70 and 74 degrees, maybe 72. Okay? I'll typically set AC to about 72, and that's pretty cool. 62, I mean, what are you, a polar bear? No disrespect by that, Mutt Nuts world, but that's pretty damn cold. Like, it may be 100 outside, but once your place reaches 62 degrees, it's going to be a little bit chilly where you're at. But hey, whatever works for you. Plus, when you run your AC that much longer, you're using a lot more power and electricity. So, your utility bill is going to be higher. It's not the most energy efficient thing, especially when you set it that low. But hey, it's a fact, but I'm just sharing my thoughts. You do you. And that's what I respect about you. You do you. Queen Helen Casey, the only way I can get on the panel is if you would have to drop the link in the chat. That's fine. I don't have a problem dropping the link in the chat. Because here's the thing. With StreamYard, I have to bring people on. If people come on backstage, I don't have to bring them on the show. Or if they're trolls, I can just block them. That's the great thing about StreamYard. On Hangouts, when YouTube used to have Hangouts on air integrated, they had an eject feature and a block feature. But the consumer version of Hangouts has no blocking feature. So if I were to, put a Hangouts link in the chat, anyone could come on, and the only way I can get rid of them is by shutting down that Hangout and starting a new one. But with StreamYard, people, when they first click on the link, they enter backstage, and I have to manually, put them on the show. And if somebody slips, if I let someone come on to take a chance, and they're trolling and they say something hateful, I can just eject them and block them right away. So, Queen, I will absolutely put the StreamYard link in the chat. It's not a big deal. It's all good. I am good with the fan, says Queen Helen Casey. Yeah, I got a fan on right now too, and it's pleasant in this room here where I do my streams. All right, 17 people in the box, fluctuating between 13 and 17. We know who's thumbing the chat down right now or thumbing the show down. Yeah, whatever. It's all good. Have fun with it. Let's see. Mutt Nuts World says, we just got it yesterday. Other went up, so we're trying to cool the house off. Then we set it to auto, so it cuts on and off. So you just got AC installed? Is that what you're saying? Is it central air conditioning, or is it one of those window air conditioners? If it's one of those window air conditioners, I can understand you setting it to 62 because, that way it could, possibly cool off every room in the house. But if you have central air conditioning, I would probably set that to 72 or 74 and then run a fan at the same time because that'll, help cool the place down quicker and it'll be more energy efficient. Collins Trivia, yay, first in live in ages because you go live when I'm asleep. Colin, if you're going to be around tonight at 8, well, you're in another country. But Colin, in 5 hours, I'm going live and running a panel. We're going to discuss the year 2020. And what are your thoughts about the year 2020? And do you feel it's one of the worst years in history for the world? So if you're around later tonight, Collins Trivia, I would love to have you join myself and Queen Helen Casey and Mutt Nuts World. And hopefully Alex, the Beer Master, gets the message. I would love to have him join the show as well. Mutt Nuts World says, had one, but it died yesterday, and my sister bought us a new one. All right, fantastic, fantastic. All right, let's get right to it here because I'm going to be going through a blog on this show regarding this topic. But first, before I get to that, I'm going to share my personal experiences of dating during the past 6 years of my life because we're discussing dating over 40 today. I am 46, and I turned 40. I hit my 46 years ago. So I'm going to be sharing with you folks, in a brief synopsis before I get this blog, my experiences regarding dating for the past 6 years in my 40s. The topic, once again, is dating over 40. Are older women more difficult than younger or younger women? One more time. Dating over 40. Are older women more difficult than younger? Now, if you're a guy in your 40s, like myself, okay, maybe even your late 30s or even your 50s, anyone over 40, right? Let's say that. If you're single in your 40s, you would figure that the women that would be most attracted to want to date you are other women in their 40s or maybe even in their 50s, right? And you would figure that as women get older, in their 40s and 50s, that they would be a lot more mature than they were in their younger days. They would be a lot more open to a relationship. They would be much more willing to take a chance because they've gotten older and they just want to connect with somebody and enjoy life. But from what I've experienced, and many other guys my age have experienced, that's the furthest thing from the truth. What I've experienced in dating, because most of you that have been following me for a while are aware that I've been single for a few years since, my ex and I split up. And I've been trying to, find someone I connect with for a genuine, happy, loving, everlasting relationship. And what I've noticed is that it is much more difficult to connect with and to set up dates with and to make things work with regarding women over 40. Now, let me explain to you. Let me share some stats with you. Okay? The women that I've dated in my 40s in a relationship, I'm not talking about going on 1 or 2 dates. I'm talking about getting into a relationship. The women that I've dated in my 40s, this is the age range. Actually, as a matter of fact, no, I'm not going to put it out there in that way. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, man? You like to work your way around channels every now and then. How's it going with you? Is that the real Lewis Fuller? Let me check with the go-to channel extension here. Going to your channel right now. It is you, Lewis, 158 subscribers. Okay. Yeah, how you been, bro? What's been going on? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let me make sure. Let me see. Did Colin respond? What did I do wrong? What are you talking about? What did you do wrong, Lewis? Lewis, are you asking why you no longer have a mod wrench here? I removed a lot of mod wrenches from A, people that weren't coming around that often, and B, people that were also spending time on channels that have been trolling and hating me. I don't tell people where to go or who to follow or who not to follow, but I make a personal choice to not associate with people that want to associate with trolls and haters of mine or just negative people in general. So if you're concerned about, I don't know, you didn't ask that, but I'm assuming that because you did have a mod wrench here at one point. If you're wondering why your mod wrench is no longer active, I removed a lot of mod wrenches and I'm putting people through a much stricter trust process before I mod people or remod people in the future. But it's great to have you here, man. Yeah, nobody blocked you, Lewis Fuller. Now, I don't know if you have another channel and you got blocked. I'm not quite sure. This channel is not blocked. If you have another channel, you can email me at coacheli@coacheli.com and I'll look into it. But I may have blocked you or someone may have blocked you because maybe you were involved with some trolls and haters out here. And, we don't want any drama here. So it's probably what happened, man. Anyway. If your message was deleted, Lewis, it could have been deleted by Nightbot. Nightbot, I have Nightbot set to not give reasons, not put out messages. I don't want people knowing what Nightbot is timing them out or deleting their messages for. But put it to you this way. Don't spam and don't use hateful words. Just be cool and don't use too many emojis. and Nightbot will not time you out and delete your messages. Nightbot probably deleted your message. So, Lewis Fuller, that is why I'm moderating 40 to 50 live streams a day. Well, Lewis, why don't you focus more on making your own content, brother, than moderating 40 or 50 chats? I mean, is that something you enjoy doing? Do you want to be known as a YouTube moderator, or do you want to be known as a YouTuber running a successful channel? Congratulations, bro, that you mod 40 to 50 chats per day. I'm no disrespect, bro. I've got better things to do than moderate 40 or 50 chats a day. That's quite a lot. But you know, if you've got the time to do it and that's what defines you, bro, then that's on you. I'm just keeping it real, bro. Just keeping it real. And Colin, I know Lewis is a good person. We've all known him for a while from the Growth Stream community. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, so let me tell you, the age range of women that I've been able to successfully get into a relationship with in my 40s has ranged from age 34 to 39. Let me repeat that one more time. Age 34 to 39 is the age range of women that I've been able to successfully get into a relationship while in my 40s. Okay? Now, I've been open to dating women in their 40s or even in their early 50s as well. And I've tried talking to those women. And I'm always a very pleasant, down-to-earth, outgoing, and genuine guy. But at the same time, I'm also very straightforward because I have no time for BS or drama. And I have no time for women that say they're ready for a relationship, but in essence, they're just looking for validation online, right? That's what a lot of women do. And maybe that's what's happening to some of these women. Now, in my opinion, why do I feel that as a man in my 40s, women in their mid to late 30s are more attracted to me than older women? So younger women are more attracted to me and enjoy my company more and enjoy intimacy with me and enjoy everything in a relationship more so than women my age or older. Why do I feel that is happening? Well, this is just my opinion here. From what I've noticed with the women in their 40s and 50s, they've either just gotten out of a divorce, they've been with someone they were with someone for 20 years, they've got 2 or 3 kids. In some cases, the husband shares custody. In other cases, the husband is a deadbeat or was a deadbeat. So she got all the custody and she's basically, taking care of these kids on her own. So there are a lot of women in their 40s and older that really do honestly feel they want a relationship and they're ready for it. And at least I think they're ready for it in their head. But when the right guy finally comes around, they start to realize that, how am I going to fit this guy in? Okay. I've got my 3 kids. I don't have anyone around, no parents around to help babysit. My ex-husband is a deadbeat. He's a loser. He doesn't make any money. So I have nowhere to, send my kids to for me to have some time for myself, right? And that's only the beginning. Another thing I've noticed is the more straightforward and honest and genuine and real you are with these types of women, the more they question you being too good to be true. One more time. The more open and honest, real and genuine you are with these women in their 40s and above that are in this situation, right? Okay. They question you and say, you just sound too good to be true. Oh, Eli, you're saying all the right things. Well, when they say that to me, I say, look, I'm not trying to say all the right things. I say, this is how I feel. This is who I am. Have you not met any guys out there that are respectful and know what they want and know what they don't want and treat women with respect? And then I go as far and say, do you not want me to be nice to you or respect you? Well, I've just been through so much. It's really hard for me to trust people. Okay, I can understand that. But let me ask you this. Are you going to be able to at least give me the benefit of the doubt to get to know me? Well, yeah, but, I want to take things really slow. And then they start throwing all these guards up, right? So what I've noticed with women as, they get into their 40s and they either go through a divorce or they've been through a bunch of bad relationships in their late 30s, early 40s, the more and more I notice that they become very bitter, very angry, and they're very afraid and very scared to take a chance. Okay. Now, another thing I've also noticed about women in their 40s and above compared to younger women is that they've actually become extremely picky in this modern world. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this. I know, as I was growing up, younger women, they were picky to a certain extent. And then older women, at least decades ago, were far less picky. In the modern world, from what I've noticed, and I'm talking about the last 6 years that I've experienced this, okay, is that older women nowadays have become a lot more picky. Now, another thing you have to understand is that, women are now more so working. They've been liberated. They're in the workforce. I've said this time and time again. So women are working full time to support their 2 or 3 kids. They've got no help with their kids. Maybe they put their kids in daycare during the day, but after she gets home from work, the ex-husband is a deadbeat. He's no longer around. She has no friends or family around. She's on her own to take care of these kids. So she's got to balance that in there. And then, she's got all these other things to take care of, right? But then she wants true love. And when the right guy comes around that is willing to, deal with that. And I've been open to dealing with that, because as you get older, you're going to be dealing with this. And if you don't want to deal with it, you have 2 options. You can either be alone or, try to work through and accept the woman for who she is and what comes along with her. So I've been willing to accept these women, right? But even me willing to accept these women, okay, it still has never panned out. Because a lot of these women, most of them have become extremely, extremely, extremely picky. Maybe they're talking to many men at once. Maybe they're just seeking validation. And once they get that validation online, that's all they need. Or again, maybe they realize that when the right guy comes around, which could have been me, it makes them realize that they thought they were ready and they really want a relationship, but they now realize they don't have the time for one, and they're not able to balance their, work life, personal life, and, they're not able to balance, their kids into the relationship. So anyway, yeah, give me just 1 second here. Let me check something out. All right, so that's my experience there. Now, why do I feel younger women more so give me a chance? Well, I think one of the main reasons is because younger women, they typically will have less experience. They haven't been hurt as much. And I think something really happens to a woman psychologically and emotionally within herself when she reaches 40. A lot of women, when they reach 40, they're like, oh shit, I'm 40 now. Oh my gosh, I'm getting really, really old. That really psychologically affects a lot of women. That's just a fact. A lot of women talk about that. When they're 30, oh, I'm going to be 40 next year, right? But when women are in their 30s, they don't think like that. And I honestly feel that women in their 30s, especially women that have never been married or have no kids, are probably your best bet if you're a man in your 40s, early to mid 40s, or in your late 40s, are probably your best bet, in my opinion, if you want a chance of having a sustainable long-term relationship. And that's just what I've experienced over the last 6 years being in my 40s, right? Now, again, this whole world continues to evolve. Like if we go back 10 or 20 years ago, what I'm saying right now would be totally different. Men and women were both totally different back then. But as this world continues to evolve into what it is nowadays between men and women being liberated, everything is changing. And that's why I share these stories, because I want people to learn from my experiences and compare their experiences to mine and see that you're not alone in this. Okay? So that's that. Now, let me see here. We are at 29 minutes. Let me check out the chat and see if anything else is going on in here. Let's see. Lewis Fuller. That's okay. I had a lot going on in my life. On Good Friday night, my cat Sydney passed away. I'm sorry to hear about that, Lewis. My condolences to your cat, Sydney. Nuts World. Okay, back. My net kicked out. It does this when it's very hot out. Why is your net affected by the heat? My net never goes out. Now, I don't know what kind of internet you have. Do you have cable internet? Or is it, you know what it probably is? It's not your net. It's your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is probably too far from your router. And Mutt, the only way to correct that is to get a Wi-Fi extender or to, plug in through Ethernet. Like I have a fiber line, 1,000 up, 1,000 down, and I plug in through Ethernet and I never have issues. And even when I'm on my phone on Wi-Fi, I've got a really good router. I have a Linksys, WRT ACM 3200 router, and it just works phenomenal. A lot of times the stock routers that come, with AT&T, Comcast, Xfinity, or whatever, your cable or internet provider is, or fiber providers in your area, they're decent, but they're not as good. And the further away you are from the router, you're going to have Wi-Fi dropouts. I don't think your internet connection is crapping out every time it gets hot. I think it's your Wi-Fi connection. That's my opinion there, based on my experiences. Lewis Fuller says, stupid trolls, get a life. Yeah, it's all right. I've got great security here on my channel, Lewis. I use Nightbot, and then I use the YouTube block words list within YouTube Studio in the settings. So as you can see, I think we've only had one troll in here today. So, they can keep on trying to come in, and, the more and more they come in, the more and more I learn how to, program Nightbot and the YouTube, block words list. And, they can keep doing what they're doing, but in many cases, their messages won't even get through. So anyway, all right. So I tell you folks what I'm going to do, because I all of a sudden need to use the restroom real quick, and I don't want to get into this blog with a full stomach here. I'm going to step away for about a 5 to 7 or 8 minute break right now and play some music here. Let me just queue up. What do I want to play here? Give me just a second here. Gonna find a few decent songs here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Just a second here. All right. So I'll be back in about 5 to 7 or 8 minutes. If you are here live, please stick around. If you're watching this on the replay, just either seek through if you're on your laptop or desktop, or you can just keep tapping through on the right side of your mobile device, and you'll be able to skip through the music and get right back to the content. So stick around. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, get those hands up, get those hands up, get those hands up and wave them all around, wave them up and down. I want you all to feel good about yourself. Queen Helen Casey, do you feel good today? Mutt Nuts World, do you feel good today? Lewis Fuller, how do you feel today, bro? Great to see you, man. Super Step, if you're still around, do you feel good today? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Excuse me. Let me make an adjustment here. Oh yeah. I feel good. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube, the world's most awesome platform where you can share a little bit of anything or even share everything about you, what you believe in, how you feel about things. You can meet some great people out here, and you can also meet some very interesting, not so great people, but hey, it is what it is. I will tell you, YouTube will, especially if you're a YouTuber, YouTube will test your strength. Let me tell you, if you're a strong person, before coming out here on YouTube to create content or even contribute as a contributor, it will test your strength. Let me tell you something. It's a very, very interesting platform, but I'm very blessed to be a part of it. Anyway, before we get back to the show here today, I want to make you all aware, once again, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be doing a live panel show right here on this same channel of Grip on Life. We're going to be discussing 2020. And is 2020 one of the worst years or the worst year ever in the history of our world? Not only here in the U.S. where I live, but is this one of the worst years in the history of our world? And hey, we're barely halfway through this year. You know, when we have elections happening later on this year, the election's happening. There's a lot going on. I have to say, I'll give you a little sneak peek about what we're going to discuss tonight. I have to say that 2020 has been one of the most interesting years I've ever experienced with what's going on with the pandemic, you know, COVID-19. You have the George Floyd incident. You have Trump trying to change, you know, the Communications Decency Act on social media. You know, he came out saying that he feels that conservative speech is being silenced when it really isn't, in my opinion. And just so much more going on. It just keeps on getting better. I'm being facetious when I say better, but it keeps on getting better each and every day. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen during the second half of 2020, which is where we're at right now. So that is that. Another thing I want to mention, folks, I want to start doing more panel streams, more panel shows on my channel like I used to do in the past. So if you're interested in being on a panel with me, if you're interested in being interviewed on this channel one-on-one, especially if you're a YouTuber or you have something of value to bring to the show, please feel free to reach out to me on my email, which is below in the description. Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. I'm looking for serious requests only. You know, I'm very good at spotting fake trolling requests or spammy requests. So please, if you're 100% genuine and you're really looking to get your message out there, I would love to help you. I would love to connect with you. I would love to collaborate. And I think one of the best ways to do it is to do some either interview live streams or to do some panel shows where we get a group of people on and we all have a discussion on a particular topic. I typically like to discuss current events because that's the most important thing and that's what people are most interested in. But we can talk about anything that you want to discuss. As I am a life coach, I discuss life principles on both the business and personal side of things. There's nothing I can't discuss out here. So make me aware of what you want to talk about and let's make it happen. Once again, go below in the description and find my email and email me at coacheli@coach.eliasmelas.com and I will get back to you as soon as possible if I feel that, there's something that we can work on together. If not, I'll send you a polite message saying, hey, this doesn't work for my show, but maybe another topic will work, or come check out some of my shows and let's get to know you and then we can go from there. All right, so let's get to this blog here. Today we're discussing dating over 40. Are older women more difficult to deal with than younger women? Dating over 40. Are older women more difficult than younger women to deal with? If you missed the first part of the show, I shared my personal experiences of being a man in my mid-40s. I'm 46, and how dating has been for me in the last, during the last 6 years since I turned 40. And again, I will mention this. A lot of people might come out and say, hey, Eli, maybe it's something that you're doing wrong. Maybe you're just repelling all these women. Well, maybe for some of them, that could be true. I mean, you never know, right? But I'm a pretty confident person. For being a 46-year-old man, I take good care of myself. I'm in pretty good shape. I consider myself to be an attractive guy. I'm not saying I'm the greatest looking guy in the world, but I'm happy with the way I look. I'm confident with it. I'm financially stable. I've got great family and friends. I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a great communicator, which is what women want. At least it's what I think women want. That's what they've said they've always wanted. And I'm very considerate to other people's wants and needs, including any woman I'm getting to know or end up getting into a relationship with. So, hey, I mean, you can only, do your best to do everything right. And in some cases, maybe many cases, it may not be good for certain people. But, like I've noticed in the modern world, and I mentioned earlier, at the beginning of the stream, I just think the world's a different place right now. People have become more busy. Women are working. They've gone through divorce. They're fending for themselves. They had a deadbeat husband that's not helping them with their kids. And it just makes things a lot more difficult than ever before. So if you missed any parts of that, segment, go back and check out the replay if you're here live. And if you're watching the replay, you probably already saw that part there. If you skip forward, go back and check it out because I shared a lot of interesting information that may be able to help you or it may resonate with you. Maybe you've gone through similar things that I've gone through. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to before I get to that, I saw that Mutt put a comment in the chat there. Couple things. First of all, she says, I am on Verizon. The heat is messing with the tower. Only does it when the heat is high. Only does it once or twice when it's hot. I just reset my net box and it's fine. So let me ask you this. You don't have cable internet or DSL or fiber or anything? You basically get your internet from the cell tower. Internet from the cell tower is very inconsistent with streaming. And yes, weather and electrical interference and all of that can affect it. My suggestion, Mutt, maybe your family, get a low-end basic internet package, maybe through your cable company, which would get you a lot more stability. For about $50, $60 a month, you could get nowadays, at least 15 or 20 megs up and maybe 200-300 down. That's not bad speed for that amount. So now I understand why you keep cutting out. Like, running live streams and basically participating on chats like this through the cell tower are going to be sketchy. So I get it. And if that's all you have to work with right now, I totally understand it. I'm just making you aware of what's causing your issues. It's not you. It's the fact that you're getting your internet while at home from the cell tower, where most people get it from their cable company or their telephone company or internet service provider through cable, fiber, or a DSL phone line. Anyway, let's see. Queen Helen Casey's dancing. She was dancing as I was coming back from break with the music, to the music. Mutt Nuts World, yeah, I feel good. That's great, Mutt. Great to hear that. Mutt Nuts World furthermore says, at times, YouTube can test your strength and your patience. Absolutely. It's because of the people out here and how the platform works. It's a public platform. It's a public platform that, in my opinion, I feel should be moderated a lot more closely than YouTube is doing. You just, in many cases where people are violating guidelines and testing your strength, you just have to learn to ignore it, because in many, if not most cases, YouTube just lets these things slide or they never even see it, even if you flag it. So Mutt Nuts World says, I have DSL and Wi-Fi. If you have DSL and Wi-Fi, you should be okay, unless your DSL line has issues. I used to have DSL, and a lot of times with DSL, there's a lot of electrical interference, or if a mouse or a rat climbs up on the telephone pole and nibbles on the line, it can cause static. What I would do is have your phone company come out there, let them know you're having frequent dropouts, and they can replace your line and fix it. Even with the heat mutt and other aspects, even with DSL, you should not be having as many issues as you're having. When I had DSL before fiber came into my area, I actually I would have an issue probably once every 6 to 9 months, and I would just call AT&T and they would come and replace the line, and it would be fine. But if you're having those frequent dropouts daily or a few times a week, I mean, that's just too much. There's something wrong with the line. My local company can kiss my rear end. They want $200 a month for net. Well, that's just too much. You should be able to get at least an entry package or something much cheaper. Wow, it's not that expensive even here in the Bay Area. So wow, that's pretty expensive. I'm on Wi-Fi right now, but when I go live on, or I think even say when I go live, I come on panel, I use the DSL. Perfect. That's good. Good. You can also add your phone or mobile device to your Wi-Fi and save your data, unless you have unlimited data. I pay $90 a month for net and home phone. That's not a bad price. Not a bad deal. Not bad. I pay $80 a month just for my internet, but it's the best internet you can get. It's fiber 1,000 up, 1,000 down. But that's a pretty good deal, Mutt, for home phone and internet. Heat only messing with the Wi-Fi. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's switch over to the browser screen here, and let's get to the blog here. The title of this blog is called What Dating After 40 is Like for Men, Advice for Women. What dating after 40 is like for men, advice for women. And the blog is written by a woman named Bobby Palmer, BOBBIPALMER. And her website is called datelikeagrownup.com, datelikeagrownup.com. And I really like what she does, and I really enjoyed reading this blog, and I'm going to be reading more of her work because she just seems like she has her head on straight. She's a very level-headed woman, and she seems to really understand what's going on, regarding people that are dating after 40. So if you look at the picture there, you got a dude there that's by himself, overlooking, some rock formation. I don't know where he's at. There's some water down there, and he's just sitting there relaxing and chilling, right? Well, let me tell you, I've had those moments in my life, but at the same time, I've also had moments like this guy is having here, being in majestic view type of places with a significant other. And let me tell you something, it is so much more fulfilling, and it's so much more of an amazing feeling when you have someone in your life to share that with. Now, it still is fulfilling when you're on your own. But whenever I've been in a situation like this, looking at a majestic view by myself, I'm typically thinking about my love life. And, hey, I really wish I had somebody cool to, share this moment with. But hey, it's all good. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's a great picture. It's an absolutely amazing picture there. All right, let's get started here. And this is the blog writer writing in the first person, okay? I love men. Well, I'm glad you do. I love women, but I wish they would love me back. I'm often asked whether I offer dating and relationship coaching for single men dating after 40. I don't. Okay, so you target women. That's great. But I do help men by helping women who are dating after 40. That's right. You're trying to, teach the women and share with the women, what men are looking for and not looking for, and what repels men that a lot of these women don't even realize half the time they're doing, right? It really is all about you, ladies, and it is. It really is all about you, ladies. One of the most transformational ways I support women is by helping you better understand grown-up men. The vast majority of these guys are not the self-centered, testosterone-led, immature boys you met and maybe married in your 20s and 30s. Let me repeat that one more time. The vast majority of these guys are not the self-centered, testosterone-led, immature boys you met and maybe married in your 20s and 30s. I don't think I was ever like that. Maybe I was a little bit more like that in my, 20s, early 20s through, late 20s, maybe even my early 30s. But by the time I got into my mid 30s, like any small part of having any level of being self-centered and testosterone-led and being immature, went out the window. I really, really grew up, and I really started to more so understand what I truly want in my life and what I truly want in a relationship. But yeah, a lot of these women, what the blog author is saying is that she's seen that a lot of these women in their 40s are still thinking that all men are the same even when they're older, they're the same way as when they were younger. And now, I'm not saying that there aren't any men in their 30s and 40s or 50s that aren't immature. There are plenty of them. But there are also a lot of decent men that have grown up and really want the real thing. And when women are automatically assuming that all men are like this, when a good guy like me comes around, okay, and I'm completely different than, what the blog author is saying here, I'm not self-centered, I'm not testosterone-led, I'm not immature, then these women say, you're too good to be true. So how do you win? Okay, if you're a self-centered, testosterone-led, immature boy, you lose. I get that. But if you're the opposite of that, you still lose because then they think you're too good to be true. So what's it going to be? Okay, let's leave that one alone. Like you, the men you're dating have lived and learned. That's right. One more time. Like you, the men you're dating have lived and learned. They have matured. At least a lot of us have. Now, from what I've seen out here on YouTube and some of my friends in my life outside of YouTube, IRL, like they like to say it, like they like to call it, in real life, some of them still have not matured. I can understand you ladies not wanting to deal with people like that, but there are a lot of good men out there that have matured and really want something. So you got to open up your mind. You got to understand this, and you can't sit there and say all men are like that. I used to be a part of a community out here called MGTOW with a bunch of very angry and bitter men that behave that way because of their past experiences in dating and marrying women and being broken up with and going through divorce, right? Okay? And these people have become so very angry and bitter that they feel that all women are the same. They call it all women are like that, right? There's a famous acronym within that community that goes by this. It's called NAWALT, NAWALT, and it stands for not all women are like that. And a lot of these guys are so angry and bitter that they say there aren't any NAWALTs around. Not all women are like that. I disagree. I will go as far and agree and say that there are far fewer NAWALTs out there than there were in the past, but that doesn't mean there aren't any out there. So it's the same thing with the women on the flip side. Not all men are like that. And on the other side, not all women are like that. And if you're one that has the attitude that everyone is like that, even at an older age, they're immature, they're insecure, they are self-centered, testosterone-led, etc., it's not going to work out for you. You're not going to get anything you want. You're going to be even more, bitter than you already are. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Let me see here. I have unlimited Wi-Fi. Yeah, my fiber line's unlimited too as well. Smash the like button for Eli, says Queen. Queen, no trolls, huh? Queen, do you notice there haven't been any trolls in here? I beefed up Nightbot a bit. They're probably trying to troll and they can't get through. Let's make them work a little bit harder. Oh, man. All right. If you've read my ebook, 7 Secrets to Finally Finding Love After 40, well, I'm still looking. You know that I believe that empathizing with men is essential to your dating and relationship success. Empathizing with them, understanding men, having empathy, being open to it. And understanding first and foremost, like I mentioned a second ago, that not all men are like that. You see, if you ladies want us guys, us good guys, to not stereotype you and say all women are like that, okay, then you can't come back at all men and categorize this as all men are like that, right? You only get what you project, right? And that works for both men and women. So if you want true love and happiness, don't project that. Don't assume all men are like that. If you assume all men are like that, then why are you even trying to date? Why are you putting yourself out there in the first place, right? Okay. The only way you can empathize is to know their side of the story. Right. Right. So I've done that with women. I've opened up to them. I share everything about them with me. I share my past experiences. I ask them, are they open to hearing it? Because somebody I'm with, I want them to know everything about me, and I want to know everything about them. Why would you want to not know everything about someone you're getting to know? If you're somebody on online dating, for example, and you're looking for your life partner, and they're looking for a life partner as well, why wouldn't you want to get to know as much about them early on to see if you click? A lot of people will say, oh, we just met. We shouldn't be talking about this. We shouldn't be sharing too much. Well, I'm open to sharing everything with you as soon as possible because I want to know if you're the right fit for me. I want to know if you can accept who I am. And I also would appreciate if you could share everything about you so I can figure out if you're the right fit for me. The more and more we prolong it, the longer we're going to, stay together, which may be for the wrong reasons. If we realize down the road 3-6 months, after we learn more about each other, that we're not the right fit for each other. So why not find that out sooner than later, right? So you got to be open to getting to know people. You got to be open to everything. And you also can't go into the attitude or can't go into it with the attitude that all men are like that and all women are like that. You might as well even try if you're going to have that attitude, right? Just like how you've dated your share of challenging types of men, like the disappearing, reappearing pinger, the couch potato, and the older and balder than his profile guy. Well, I'm a bald dude, but, I think I look good for my age. But there are a lot of guys in my age that look like they're 60. And then there are a lot of guys my age that look like mid to late 30s because we take care of ourselves, we stay fit, and, when we had that shaved head because we weren't fortunate to have the greatest hair, right? We didn't have the great hair genes. It looks good on us, right? And there are women that will accept that. And there are women that, will only date a man with hair. Everyone has different preferences. Okay. So, but I can understand if, women have dealt with a lot of, disappearing, reappearing type of guys. I come around when I feel horny, and then, I disappear for a few months, and then I call you when I'm feeling horny again, right? The couch potato, the lazy guy that doesn't want to do anything, right? Why would you want to be with him, right? And the older and balder than his profile guy. Yeah, that's a guy that's catfishing you, basically putting out younger pictures to try to get the date. And then when you meet him, he thinks miraculously you're going to accept him, right? It never works that way. Men meet and enter into relationships with less than impressive types of women. Well, we've had to go that route, ma'am. That's right in this blog. The reason why we've had to go that route is because the women that, we really want to go out with, or, the other types of women, the more impressive types, they're so damn picky that they never settle, right? And even if they get with us for the wrong reasons. So I wouldn't even look at it as, meeting and entering into relationships with less than impressive types of women. I've tremendously lowered my standards. I've started to look at women that, even have 30 or 40 pounds extra on them, depending on how they carry it, as cute. Like when I was younger, like those women, I would not be attracted to them. I wanted the super skinny, supermodel type of look chick, right? As I got older, I started to see that, hey, you know what? There are a lot of beautiful women that have a little extra on them. And what I used to notice up until recent times, over the last, 3 to 5 years, is that the women that had a little extra on them, weren't as picky and were more accepting of men and any small flaw they may have, right? But funny to say, nowadays, even those types of women have become more picky. All women have become more picky, regardless of their looks or anything else, especially after they've hit their 40s. So, but I like the way that she put it there. Men meet and enter into relationships with less than impressive types of women. All right. Furthermore, she goes, I've talked to countless single men over the years about their experiences with women, especially those in midlife and beyond. Here are some of their stories of dating after 40, dating that never turned into relationships. This is, guys, if you're reading this, get in touch if you want to share. I may be getting in touch with you. I may even try to set up a collaboration with this woman and get her on a live stream. I mean, what do you think if I could get this lady to come on a live stream? I really like her work. I really do like her work. Below are the common types of women single grown-up men have told me about. I call them femitypes. Ooh, femitypes. Okay. Click here to learn your femitype. Okay, we're not going to do that. I will go and take that test another time. Read the general description of each here, or start reading more about each femitype, starting with the princess. Click here. I'm not going to go into that, folks. If you want to go and check this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link to this blog in the chat. So those of you here or watching the replay can actually check out this link in the chat there. All right, so let's go through them. The princess. The princess is confident, well put together, and very attractive. She easily lures in men because she's cute and she knows it. She knows she's hot and she knows she's desired by lots of men, so she has many choices, so she's going to be more picky, right? She still follows the rules and requires that her man do what she wants when she wants. That wouldn't work for me. I'm sorry. I don't do anything and everything a woman wants me to do. Now, I will listen to her suggestions and she can listen to mine, and together we can, do something that works for the both of us. But if it's a demanding thing, you're going to do everything I say because I'm a princess and I'm hot. And if you don't give me what I want, I'll just go out with one of the other 10 guys that's waiting in line. Well, then I'd say, hey, go for it. But yeah, no, I wouldn't deal with that. Requires that her man do what she wants when she wants. That would not work for me at all. I'm sorry. It would not. he needs to make all the right moves. Well, we're going to do our best, but we're going to be ourselves. And if you're going to watch like a hawk and expect it, then I'll pick up on that and I'll be gone. She's a scorekeeper. I'm out. I'm not keeping score in a relationship. And she alone decides when he's given enough to satisfy her or when he hasn't and is history. Right. So yeah, you'll keep him around for a little bit to try to extract as many resources from him as possible. And once his resources either run out or he doesn't give up his resources when you demand them, then he's history, right? I am not the kind of guy that would date the princess. The princess has an I deserve it attitude. That's called entitlement. And has little or no concern for how she can make the other person happy. That wouldn't work for me because I can pick up on that. I want a woman that's going to reciprocate, that's going to give when I give and vice versa. She insists he give and give with little or no reciprocity. I just said that. No reciprocation. Bye-bye. After all, he's the man and she's his prize. No, the man is the prize. I'm sorry. And I say this with no disrespect to all ladies. Just because we're in the modern world and women are working and they're liberated, they can do everything that only a man was once able to do, doesn't mean that the woman is the prize. The man is the prize. The man has always been the prize. I'm not kicking down women. I'm not saying that women are beneath men, but I'm also not saying that women are above men. She's not the prize. And if you as a man are dealing with a woman that feels she's the prize, then in my opinion, she's acting like the type that wants to wear the pants, which in my opinion is a woman exuding more masculine energy, not feminine energy, and it wouldn't work out. You do not want to be with a woman, in my opinion, that exudes more masculine energy than feminine energy. All right, let me check out the chat real quick. Okay, we're still good. Still good. Got 19 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. The 18-year-old. The 18-year-old dates sometimes a lot. Well, she's young. She's trying to figure out what she wants. But she doesn't have relationships because she doesn't want the man. So she doesn't want the men who want her, and the men she wants don't want her. Right. Well, I think that's true with all women, even after 18. You have to have a fine balance as a man. You have to show enough interest to her that she knows you like her and you're attracted to her, but you can't show too much interest to the point of where she knows she's got you, and then she can play you like a fiddle and do what she wants with you whenever she wants. Or do what was mentioned earlier with men that, they come and go every few months when they need a little sex or whatever. You do not want a woman flipping that on you. Okay? But yeah, it does happen more so when women are younger. But even as they get older, like women want what they can't have. How many of you have heard women want what they can't have, right? So, if they want what they can't have, okay, and then you give them what they can't have, which now they can have it, then they don't watch anymore, then then when are they going to be able to ever settle? So as a man, you've got to understand that that's how a woman's emotions work. In other words, what it's saying is that women don't want you to be dependent on being in a relationship with them or them in general for your happiness. They don't want you to be dependent on them for your happiness. They want you to be happy within yourself and share your happiness with them, not be dependent on them for your happiness. So that's, in other words, what this means. She doesn't know what will make her happy and has not yet learned how to communicate and relate to grown-up men. Because she's young, she's 18, she's gaining experience. I can understand an 18-year-old behaving this way. I cannot understand or respect a 40-year-old woman behaving this way. Or men, for that sake, right? When you're young, I can understand these mistakes or thinking this way or testing the water, right? When you're in your 30s or especially early 40s and beyond that, you should have already learned this shit. All right. She doesn't know what will make her happy and has not yet learned how to communicate and relate to grown-up men. That's true. And she's trying to figure it out. She's having fun. If she's cute and she's getting attention, like everybody loves attention. Both men and women love attention, but women love attention more because they're emotional beings. They need to have their emotions appeased all the time. A lot of times, with men that are strong like myself, like my alone time is the most valuable time. Like when I'm not on the phone with anybody or hanging out with anybody or out here on YouTube or whatever, let me tell you, I cherish that time. But with women, because they're emotional, okay, it's natural for them to always want attention. It's natural to them. So when they're younger and they're getting a lot of attention, they're not going to settle at that point. And they're also learning how to better communicate and relate to grown-up men. Now, hopefully they have a good father. Or they were raised by both their mother and their father, because it is very important for a little girl and a woman and a little girl growing up, and then once she turns 18, that she had her father at least until she was 18, and then maybe moved out, went to college, etc. Right? Because a little girl is going to look up to her father, and when she is looking at the type of men to date, she's going to relate that to how her father treated her and how her father was there for her. Those are the types of men a little girl growing up is going to be attracted to when she gets older, is based on her relationship with her father. If you're a little boy, like when I was a little boy, I looked up to my mother. And it is very true. I am attracted to women nowadays that are very similar, if not exactly like my mother. My mother has always been a very empathetic, nurturing, loving, giving, caring woman. So that's probably why. She's still figuring this whole thing out. By default, she clings to the same type of guy she wanted in high school or college. He's often the bad boy because he excites her. Right. It's entertainment for her, right? She's not in a place where she's ready for a relationship or wants one, but she still wants to be entertained and have fun. And I wish I understood that about women when I was that age. But when you're that age, even as a guy, women mature quicker than men. Guys don't usually figure this out until their mid to late 20s, sometimes early 30s. So yeah, it's not that she just wants the bad boy. Maybe that's what it's called. But she just wants to have fun with no commitment. See the wow me woman below. Okay. Let's see if we get to that. The nice relationship-minded men get quickly discarded by the 18-year-old. Try as he might, the 60-year-old fabulous guy can't measure up to her expectations because she's looking for a man who doesn't exist, because she doesn't know what she wants yet. She's still figuring it out. She gets stuck in affairs with men who never commit because she doesn't want a commitment at this point. And it's often the nice guys who are interested in her who bear the brunt of her hurt and anger. Right. These are the kind of guys, especially when you're younger, you don't understand women. They're like her therapist. And the one thing I tell men, especially when you get older, if you haven't figured this out on your own, you do not want to be a woman's therapist, right? Now, if you're in a relationship with a woman, she loves you, you're having sex with her regularly, you're spending time with her, it's a great relationship, then, kind of being her therapist every now and then is normal. But if you're a dude that's trying to get with her and, she sees you more as a friend and she only comes to you when she needs like a therapist type of friend to, talk about her issues with, but she has no romantic interest in you or dating you or anything, you don't want to be the kind of man that's a sucker to be your therapist thinking that that's what's going to get you your foot in the door. It's not going to work. And it's actually really pathetic. It's going to make you look really pathetic, and she's going to know it. Okay? Let me see how much longer this, how come I can't highlight this blog? Okay, it's maybe the thing. Let's see. Okay, not that much. Oh. Okay, there's not a whole lot more, but there is a little bit more left. The scaredy cat. The scaredy cat has been emotionally wounded by men in the past, and she can't let go of it. She mistrusts men and often blames herself for the rejection she's felt, believing that she just wasn't good enough. She says things like, I need him to say he wants a relationship, and then I'll open up. Or, once he gets to know me, he probably won't like me. The scaredy cat is a woman that has her guard up. It's a very guarded woman. And you got to find out as quickly as possible, whether you're meeting women online or in person, you got to find out, are they open-minded? Are they chance takers? Are they guarded? Or are they free-spirited, right? If you're dealing with a scaredy cat and you identify it, they're not ready. They're not in a good emotional state where they're trusting of letting any man in or giving any man a chance. And one of the main reasons for that is because they don't trust themselves. Before you can trust anyone else, you got to be able to have trust within yourself that you're making the right decision, right? The scaredy cat may put her guy through lots of tests before she feels confident that he's truly interested. No, listen, I'm the kind of guy that's called the shit test. I'm the kind of guy that does the reverse shit test on women I talk with. And maybe that scares a lot of them away because then they know they can't get away with anything from me. They can't play their game on me, right? And that's fine. You know, if they pick up that they can't get away playing their game on me, I don't want to be with a woman like that in the first place that plays games, right? Okay? The scaredy cat, okay, I already read that. When he passes those tests or shows he has feelings for her, she questions it. Right, you're too good to be true. Like I mentioned earlier, that's what they do. So when it's a guy like me that's very intuitive, and I know she's shit testing me, right? And I pass her test because I'm being real and I'm being understanding, okay? Or I show that I like her and have feelings for her. She questions it and might up the ante. Yeah, more tests, right? Or say, you know, gosh, where have you been all my life? You know, I really want to get to know you, but you sound too good to be true. Like, are you too good to be true? When I hear that, I'll say, I'm not too good to be true. I'm just me. And then I'll go as far and say, you may have been dealing with a bunch of weird guys lately that made all these promises to you, and they basically, betrayed your trust, and now you have a hard time trusting. She's like, well, how do you know? Well, it's obvious because, you're giving me all these tests, and you're guarded and you're not letting me in. Like, I really like you, but if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable and let anyone in, why am I even here right now? I'll question them like that. In some cases, that'll turn them on and it'll lead to something. But in many, if not most cases, it scares them even more. And then they run off. As a man, you got to take chances like that. You got to call women out in these situations, because if you don't, you're going to be wasting your time. And even if it does work out, it's going to end in a few months, and it's going to be worse off than if you just ended it sooner by figuring this out. She picks fights, picks the wrong guys, or maneuvers relationships to end because it gives her control. Right, I would never be with a woman like that. She's not ready. She's not in a good place emotionally. She's very guarded. She is basically holding her past experience she's basically holding her past experiences against all new men. No one stands a chance with her because she's not open to it. This I'm never going to find a good relationship gal leaves men unable to get any traction during courting or in a relationship. The wall she has erected is just too high for him to climb in order to get to the other side. And when I realize that wall's too high, I'm out. Peace out. Bye-bye. Since trust and affection are what men yearn for from women, absolutely. I love the beauty of a woman. I love the intimacy, but I also love the conversation. I love going hiking with them. I love taking drives with them, taking weekend getaway trips. I love that. Okay? He usually does her a favor and leaves. We're doing ourselves a favor too, ma'am, because we don't want to waste our time. But yes, we're doing her a favor, but we're more so doing ourselves a favor because it was never going to go anywhere. Hence, hindering her right once again, meaning that she's not realizing that the way she's looking at men and being so guarded is affecting a good guy that would have wanted to be with her, not be with her because of that. And she's misperceiving it as, I'm just not good enough. I can't trust men. And the vicious cycle continues, and she becomes even more and more guarded when you men approach her because she's not understanding what's happening. And until she figures it out, she's going to be miserable. The wow me woman. The wow me woman is a midlife gal who still thinks that excitement is the key to judging if a guy is a good match. Okay? Excitement is one aspect of it, but there's more to it. Great conversation, financial stability, emotional stability. You got to have fun in the relationship, but there are going to be times where you got to be serious too. So it's not just about the excitement. It's also about how does this guy and gal handle the non-exciting times. She's looking for her guy to be interesting. Okay, that's great. I like interesting people too. Keep her laughing. I love laughter as well. Ask her all about herself. When I talk with a woman, I focus 75% of the conversation about her and 25% about me. If you talk all about her, then it's too much. But if you talk more about you or all about you or more about you than her, then she's going to be like, this guy's selfish, right? I think a great ratio when you first get to know a woman is to, when you're talking with her, speak about yourself about 25% of the time, and the other 75% ask her questions. And, ask her what she enjoys. And then maybe say, oh, I enjoyed that too. Yeah, I've done this and that, right? As long as you ask her first and then she says what she enjoys, then you can incorporate in that conversation, oh yeah, I like that too, and I've been to these places, and then it's cool, right? But make it more about her than you. But don't make it all about her and none about you. In this situation, my personal opinion and what's worked for me is 75% talk about her, at least initially, and then 25% about you. And then if the relationship works and you're together for, a few weeks, a month, and you get into a relationship, then it needs to be 50-50 after that. But the one thing women are looking for initially is to see if a man is selfish or not. So you got to give a little more initially, right? Until she gets to know you. And then you balance it out 50-50 if it works out. The wow me woman leaves many good men in her dust. Yeah, because she's just looking for fun. She's not looking to settle down. She loves the excitement of new men being interested in her. It's about validation again. This all leads to validation. A lot of women nowadays are all about validation. And once you validate them, they're gone. I think one thing I've learned, even in doing this show, and maybe I haven't even realized doing this, is that women are seeking validation. And the moment you give them that validation, especially if you're talking to them on the phone, you haven't met them yet, like they're online dating, the moment you give them that validation, you give it to them too soon, then they get what they want and then they're out. That's an interesting way to look at it. I just figured out an interesting perspective as I was doing this show. Wow, maybe I'll do a show on that. Okay, let's see. Okay. So let me see. Men sense her quick judgment, which leaves them feeling deflated, unattractive, and powerless. Well, I don't feel that way, but I do realize a woman that acts this way is not the right fit for me because she's going to make it all about herself, and she's not going to be reciprocating anything towards me. That man then makes a poor impression, understandably, and the date is chalked up to another he just wasn't right for me experience. The wow me woman is often single for a very long time. She expects way too much, right? Her standards are way too high. And when the blog author says that man then makes a poor impression, understandably, it's not that we're making a poor impression. It's that we pick up on the fact that she's this type of person, and we realize it's not going anywhere, and maybe we we're at a dinner with her or we're hanging out with her, and we just really feel like we're wasting our time, and we wasted our time. And we just want to get out of it. That's how we're feeling. But yeah, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Girlfriend, isn't it time you put an end to your frustration? Okay, give me a second here. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. All right, let me check out the chat here real quick. And it looks like we're still good. Got 15 people in the box. Thank you so much for being here. We're getting close to the end here. All right. The bitter gal. Wow. The bitter gal is angry, usually about everything, but especially about men. She'll find fault with every man she meets. A guy never has a chance. Even if he is the nicest guy in the world and really likes her, which usually doesn't last very long. No matter how pretty and smart she is no fun to be around. It has nothing to do with that guy. It has to do with herself. She has trust issues. She's had so many bad experiences and hasn't been able to work through them and let them go to the point of any man that comes around has no chance with her. Has no chance with her, even if he does everything right. The truth is that the bitter gal has been playing the victim for most, if not all, of her life. That's right. Maybe she was raised from a broken household, maybe she had one or two bad relationships that were abusive. She's probably been through a lot of things. I get it. But if she allows that to continue to consume her and affect her, she's never going to have what she wants. It's how she's seeing herself that's affecting her. Her life isn't going the way she wants, and she just can't figure out why. With men, she might complain that they just don't get her. No, we get you. You just don't get yourself, man. That's the problem. But the truth is that she's given them every reason to head for the hills with her offhanded comments and negativity. I gotta really check out this lady. I gotta reach out to her. She hasn't mastered the life skill of introspection, so she's blinded by her bitterness. Yeah, she doesn't love herself. This is the bottom line is she doesn't love herself, and she's allowing past bad experiences to hinder the progress of the rest of her life, or at least her current life. It doesn't occur to her that she might be the problem, even though every date and relationship seems to end that way. No, she's definitely the problem, and it doesn't occur to her. And a lot of times, women that are in this position, in this state of mind, it either takes them a long time to work through it and figure it out, or many of them never figure it out. And if they never figure it out, they're going to be unhappy and miserable for the rest of their lives. I've met so many different women on and off of YouTube that could be really nice women, but no matter how much you try to help them work through issues that you see within them, they never change. And they're going to be unhappy and bitter for the rest of their lives. Because a lot of these women I've encountered, no matter what anyone's done to genuinely help them, right? They always fall back to being the bitter person. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I read the last line. Though a nice guy might try to break through and prove her wrong about men, he will give up out of exhaustion. Right. There's a few women, especially out here on YouTube, that are very exhausting. That's why I'm no longer friends with them. I've come across these types of women in my real life, right? And yeah, initially, before I realized how bitter they are, I'll try to cheer them up and see if I can bring some positivity in their life. But if I try 2 or 3 times and they keep resisting and being bitter, it does get exhausting, and I'm out. Peace out. Let me see here. All right, we're almost done. We've got one more. Give me a second here. This blog is not allowing you to scroll smoothly. It's just set up that way. Oh well. I got the best portable wireless mouse set up properly, and it won't scroll at the exact spot. So anyway, there's a little gap there. No big deal. Whoops. Sorry. There we go. Here we go. The sex pot. The sex pot is all about putting out the sex vibe. She believes her sexuality is the only way she can attract a man. If you think that, then you're going to have men using you and abusing you. Or she wants this point in her life to be a series of sexual experiences. If that's what a woman wants, then own it. But don't blame men for only wanting sex when you want the same thing. If you're younger and you want to experience different guys, do what you got to do. Women are in the modern world now, okay? Don't feel like if you're sleeping with too many guys that, you're going to be shamed for it. There are guys out there that will still shame women for that. But hey, men and women are supposed to be equal nowadays, right? So if men can go out and sleep with a bunch of women, why can't women go sleep with a bunch of men if that's what they want? But if that's what you want, you got to own that. That's who you are, at least for the time being. And you have to also understand that if you do want to have a real relationship down the road, and let's say you've been with 100 men, and you tell a man that you meet that you want to get into a relationship with, that you've been with 100 men, he may not want to be with you if you've been with 100 men. So you got to understand that be what you want to be, who you want to be, do what you want to do. But you can't be mad if other people aren't accepting of that or appreciate that. I wouldn't shame a woman that's been with that many men. But would I want to be with a woman myself that's been with that many men? Probably not. Probably not. Again, I'm not shaming them. Let them do what they want to do. But I more so want to be with a woman that is able to settle down and enjoy the intimacy and sex with one man for eternity. That doesn't need to have a new flavor every single day of the week. Either way, she's not connecting with men. She posts a provocative picture on her online dating profile. Right. Whenever I see those provocative online dating profiles, skip. I never respond to them because all they're doing is seeking validation and maybe just sex, right? And in that situation, unless you're a guy unless you're a 9 or a 10 of a good-looking guy on the hotness attractive scale, she won't even look at you. That's how those women are, right? Now, I'm confident within myself, okay? And I love the way I look, but I also know I'm not the hottest guy in the world. I'm not saying I'm not attractive or love myself. I do. If I had to rate myself honestly on the attractive scale, I'd say I'm probably a 7 or an 8. But I'm not a 9 or a 10. I know that. So this woman here, who's a sex pot, wouldn't even give me the time of day. Maybe I might get lucky with 1 or 2 if I really wanted to go that route, which I really don't, but more than likely not. Invites him over to her house on the first date, shows too much skin, especially for a woman over 40, and is overly familiar with her affection. Right. You see, all these women in their 40s, they still crave sex and intimacy. Right? But a lot of them fear the commitment. So when you approach them, if you approach them in a way where you're relationship minded, what I've noticed is it scares them off because they're either jaded based on what they've been through, or their time is so limited because, like I said earlier, they've got kids, they were recently divorced, they have kids, they're working, they have no support from their ex-husband, they don't have any family around to help out, they're doing it all on their own. So they don't have the time for a relationship, which is what they probably really want. But if they can't have that relationship, they still crave the intimacy, right? So that's who I feel is my version of what this blog author is calling the sex pot. The sex pot offers herself up on the first date and is offended if her date doesn't partake. Men who are looking just for sex will say yes. Relationship-minded men may also say yes, even though they may feel somewhat emasculated or turned off by her aggressiveness. Well, I've been in these situations before, and I will tell you this. I've been intimate with a woman on the first date before, and it turned into a relationship. If I didn't feel it was going to head into a relationship, I wouldn't have done it. So, yeah, and sometimes even in these situations, when you're with a sex pot, you might be that one guy just by being cool, being a good lover, and talking with her with no expectation. She may say, you're different. Like, you're really different. Like, you know what? I've been just hooking up with people, but like with you, like I feel like I can have something, right? You never know what comes out of it. They are men after all. Yes, we are men, and yes, we do love intimacy too, but us good men as we get older want that with the right woman over and over again for eternity. She won't get a call from either of these guys and forever wonder why she thinks she gave him what he wants. Well, why would we feel the need to call a woman like that? Like, okay, if I was in that situation and the first time I met someone, we're having sex the first time, unless I feel like there's something more than the sex, like I wouldn't even think about calling her or anything like that. I've never been in that situation, but if I was, I wouldn't even think about that. Excuse me. You know that dating after 40 or at any stage of life for that matter is not exactly a rose garden every moment. When you appreciate the same is true for the men you date, it will go a long way towards building compassion and in turn building relationships. Absolutely. Oh, and girlfriend, you can learn a ton of really brilliant things and some that will drive you to drink from the comments men have left below. And hey, ladies, I want to know what you think. Which of the femme types do you see in yourself? Go check out this blog, folks. I'm not going to go and read the comments here, but I'm gonna share the blog link in the chat one more time before I get on out of here because I got to start preparing for tonight's show. Time to fire the mouse. No, we're not firing the mouse. It's not the mouse's fault. It's the way that the blog page was set up. But there's the link to the blog site, folks. Go check out this blog and check out other articles and check out this lady. Her name, once again, is, let's go to the top here, Bobby Palmer. And her website is datelikeagrownup.com. All right, that's going to do it. We are at 1 hour and 45 minutes later. We'll see everyone later tonight. Be ready. Muttnuts World and Queen Helen Casey. We're going to be going live. I'm going to actually get you ladies on, and anyone that wants to come on before I go live onto StreamYard. So we're looking at the shows at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We're looking at about 7:55 your time, ladies, 4:55 Pacific. I will send you the link on Hangouts, and we'll get on StreamYard before I go live, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to make it very clear right now, I will not be doing a members-only video today or tomorrow. The next one will be coming on Monday. I'm going to focus on resting my voice a little bit, getting something to eat, and preparing for this great show happening tonight at 8 Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be on for a couple of hours, and we're going to be discussing 2020. Do you feel that 2020 is one of the worst years in the history of our world? With that being said, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Muttnuts World. Thank you to Queen Helen Casey. And thank you to Super Step that was here earlier and everyone else that was watching and not commenting. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you all later tonight. Oh, let me move to the full screen. There we go. I'll see you all later tonight. Take care. Bye-bye. We're out. Peace out. Bye-bye.